Welcome to One Insight. My name is Rich Litvin. I grew up in London and I now live in LA. And this is a podcast for extraordinary top performers. You see, I've coached some of the most successful and talented people on the planet. I see what most people cannot see, and I dare to say what most people wouldn't dare to say. And what I know about success is that on the other side of it, it can actually be lonely. You can feel like more of an imposter the more successful you become. And when you're the most interesting person in the room, you're actually in the wrong room. I coach around insight. Life looks one way, something happens, the world looks different, and your entire world changes. It can happen in an instant. And this podcast is called One Insight because a single insight can change everything.
You're going to hear me working with Shermain. He's got a background as a leader, leading and managing in retail chains, in call centers. And he's known for 4 words: I've got your back. It goes back to a story about how his dad shows up in the world, about how he showed up in the world as one of 8 siblings. He starts to articulate what he does with his clients, and it's very generic. It's nice, but it's generic. My clients have a history of success. They care about others. They're happy to be alive. Well, that's great, but that's most people on the planet. So I draw out from him some of the secrets to his own clients, their struggles and their successes, because I know that your dream clients are a reflection of you. They reflect that back to him, and he feels seen himself. And we get to the end, and I know we're there because he has no words. He says, wow, and that's it. And that's my experience. I got to do with him what he does with others. I had him feel seen. I had him feel appreciated for what he does. This is fun for me to do. And as you listen, play out the stories for yourself. Imagine I'm speaking to you and asking you these questions. Enjoy. Hi, Shermain.
Hey, Rich.
Thank you for saying yes to this. I'm honored that you trust me.
You're welcome.
Let's play. I want to find out a little bit more about you and your story. So coaching as a professional coach is relatively new for you, right?
Yes, that's correct. I started about a couple of years ago. I went to a coaching school and I found out about, read your book, Prosperous Coach, and then immediately signed up for the first intensive.
Nice.
Yeah.
What were you doing before that? What was your career about?
Yeah, before that, I was a supervisor in a very large retail chain, supervising about 20 to 200 associates. And I did that for about 3 years. I was in the technical services field. I supervised a team of.
So hang on, which end of your career was that? Is that when you started? Is that?
Oh, it was most recent. So
right. Okay.
Should I go back to when I?
No. I'm just going to get the order we're going in. So,
yeah.
When you say supervisor, is that what people would commonly call a manager, a leader?
Yes, I was a assistant store manager for a very, very large, low price retail chain in the United States. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you were managing people.
Yes, leading people. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How long did you do that for?
About 3 years.
What were you known for?
There, I was known for caring for people. People felt like I had their back. People felt like they were important when they interacted with me.
Tell me back before that. What was the career path before that?
I was a supervisor, a leader in a telecommunications company in a call center where I led about 20 to about 200 people as well, depending on kind of who was on shift.
And again, what were you known for?
There, I was known for being the expert, the go-to guy. Also for the same thing, for really just helping people feel seen. And as a result of them feeling seen, my results were really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tell me about your results in either of those organizations. What kind of results? Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that I was most proud of was turnover. So turnover reduction, the ability to keep people. In a lot of organizations, a lot of leaders have problems with turnover. And because people felt seen, they felt like they mattered, they felt appreciated, they stayed longer. They were happy.
Mm. That's great. In England, when we talk about turnover, we're talking about revenue. In the States, turnover means employee turnover, right?
Yes,
So that's
yes.
Important distinction. But that's really cool to see. Something I'm passionate about, I speak about a lot, is what I've thought of as the hard skills in business: fiduciary skills, legal skills, financial skills. Anybody can be trained in those skills.
Yep.
But in 20 years of education, most of us are never taught how to be a leader, how to manage people, how to nurture people, how to communicate, how to negotiate. Those are the hard skills of leadership and the hard skills of business. And we call them the soft skills and give no time to them.
Yeah.
Where did you get the lessons that taught you how to let people feel seen, to know that they matter, so they feel appreciated? Because the great leadership books of recent times talk about those as skills. Where did you learn them?
That's a good question. I would say partially, I'm thinking about like the earliest experience as probably my dad. He would always take time for people, mainly people that were that needed help. So I think I'm mirroring him. He always saw people that were just in need, and he would try to fill that need. And so I really think that's where that came from. Yeah.
Now, because I know a little bit about your story, if I'm right, you were the oldest of how many kids?
There are 8 of us. So I'm the third oldest of 8. Yeah.
Okay, so you're the third oldest, but you also saw people in need and took time for people, and they were your siblings. So tell me about that. Tell me back in time to when you were a leader naturally as a sibling.
Yeah, so I think what you're thinking about is because between my older sister and my older brother, there's that gap there, and so when we would going to school and coming back from school, I was in charge of caring for them. So I had to make sure they made it safe, between those 2 places, and
them being the 5 youngest.
Correct, the 5 younger. Yep. So, yep.
Were you told this is your job? Did you take it on as a response?
No, I was never told it was my job. It was just, I just took it on. And I have a twin brother who is 5 minutes younger than I am. And I just took it on. I wanted to make sure everyone was safe. And I did.
It's funny being a father myself. You don't have kids yet, right?
No.
It's funny being a father. You see things. You can hear about nature and nurture. I'm a biologist by background, but your kids come into the world and you see they have a personality that has nothing to do with you. They show up with insights and ideas about the world, and you showed up with this insight. And you had a twin brother, but you just knew inside of you this is my responsibility. I'm going to keep everyone safe.
Yeah.
What have you struggled with most for most of your life, Shermain?
What have I struggled with most of my life? Believe it or not, coming from a family of 8 siblings, I struggled with feeling seen, I felt alone a lot growing up, although I was surrounded by all these people.
Well, because of the work that I do, there is no irony in your biggest gift is having other people feel seen and feel connected. We often teach what we most need to learn, that place of where it was a struggle for you. You saw that in others and you helped them so they didn't have to deal with that struggle that you
Exactly.
did.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who are your clients? Who do you love to work with?
I love to work with, people like me. So people who have success in the past, a history of success, people who care about others and are willing to do things for others, people who are just happy to be alive and happy to give back and want to learn, want to grow, and want to make a difference in this world.
You caught the first part, which is the one that most coaches miss. Your dream client is the person who looks back in you in the mirror every night. So you know that, you get that.
Mm-hmm.
History of success, care about others, happy to be alive, want to learn and grow and make a difference. That's you, right? And there's a place where that's at a high level of abstraction. And so if I said to anyone listening to this right now, do you have a history of success? Do you care about others? Are you happy to be alive? Do you want to learn and grow and make a difference? Most people listening to this right now would go, yeah, that's me. We have to somehow narrow that down. So some of them go, nah, it's not me. And others go, oh my God, I thought nobody knew that about me.
Mm.
Tell me about one of your favorite clients. You don't have to say them by name, but tell me something about them. What is it that you love about them?
Sure. One of my favorite clients, what I love about her is her energy. When I get on a call with her, it's just her energy is so infectious. And she's just real. She's just her authentic self, and she's just real. And then she's got that energy, and it's either way. So it's however she's feeling, she's all of that. She's feeling all of it. And I think that's pretty cool.
What's her biggest struggle, even the secret one that she doesn't even see for herself?
Her biggest struggle, let me think about her. Is feeling her worth. She didn't feel like she mattered, and that got in the way of her.
Mm.
Yeah.
How did she compensate for that?
Good question. She would be controlling. She'd try to control as much as possible. Tried to control as much as possible.
And what was the cost of that?
Stress. For her, it was stress. It was her relationships were kind of non-existent, and it was tough for her.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about another favorite client of yours.
Another favorite client. And what's the question about the client? Sorry.
What do you love about them the most?
Yeah. Another client favorite client that I love, she was all about her job. She loved her job, and she loved the people, and she wanted for a long time wanted this vice president position, and she got it. And so I loved her tenacity. I loved her just stick to it-ness, for lack of a better term. And I just thought that was awesome. Yeah.
Nice. And what's been her secret struggle underneath all of that?
Her secret struggle is it was the job over anything else. Her struggle was she came from she grew up and her parents it's all about the job for them. And she could never be idle. She had to always be doing something. That's what she learned. And so she put her everything into her job, and yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about one more client that you love, that inspires you, even if you work with them pro bono or not very long, but just someone who really inspired you when you work with them.
Yeah. One other client that really inspired when I worked with him, what I loved about him, it was again his energy, and he was stepping into his fear. He really was up to big things, and was willing to step into his fear without not worried about the cost.
Yeah.
And that was so admirable.
And what was the dark side of that? Because that's amazing, but there's always a dark side to a gift. What's the dark side of that willingness to step into his fear?
I think his dark side was he sometimes would go at any cost. He would not think about things, and he would just go. And, you know, and he sometimes didn't see the people he was trampling over, or the relationships or anything like that. He would go and not necessarily bring anyone with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me how this lands for you. If I tell you about a client that I know you've seen me do this before with other people, but just see how it really lands for you.
Sure.
If I'm right, there's a client I know who I think you'd love. This client, their energy is infectious. They're real. This person loves their job. It's all about the job. They're tenacious. They have this sense of stick-to-itness, and they're willing to step into their fear. At the same time, all of those gifts have a dark side, because what they struggle with the most is feeling their worth. Like underneath it all, not really feeling that they matter. They'll put their big mission out into the world, their job or whatever else it is, but it'll be over everything else. And there'll be a price they pay for that. Maybe they're controlling in some ways, but it brings in stress, and their relationships can be burnt out completely because of it. And when you go at something at any cost, you can sometimes trample over people and not bring people with you. How does that land when you hear that person described? You know anyone like that?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So this is great. This is a beautiful exercise to do at some point. If you think of your 3 favorite clients, it helps you to draw out who you are and who you work with. But now we can get into the detail, from the generics of a history about success and caring about others, to when you can touch on the secret pain that people feel, because you know it from the inside out. They go, oh my God, I didn't know anybody else knew this. So let me play and see what I come up with, and speak you into the world, and see how we can create Shermain in a powerful way.
All right.
So you can sit back and relax, and let me see how I play. Just let it wash over you. See how it lands. This is more like listening to a piece of music. You're not trying to listen to, oh, I didn't like that note, let's change that note. It's like, let it come over me, and then we'll see what the impact it has on you and where we go.
Okay.
I think I'll speak this into the world as if I'm you. It feels like the right way to do this. So my language doesn't have to be the same as it will be when you say it, but let's play. I'm known for my leadership skills. From working in large retail chains to working in call centers, managing groups of 20 people or 200 people or more, I'm a manager and leader at my heart. What almost always happens when I go and work in a team or organization is that we reduce turnover. We cut down the number of people who want to leave, and we increase the number of people who want to stay. You see, I'm known for caring for people, making people feel important. What people know about me is that I've got your back. I've been known at times as the go-to guy, the expert, but really what's more important than that is I help people feel seen, I help people know that they matter, and I help people feel appreciated. And I've been doing this my whole life. My dad modeled this for me. He always took time for people. He always saw people in need and found a way to help them. Me, I was one of 8 kids. And somehow I took it on at a young age that I was responsible and I would take care of my younger siblings. And what's funny is I have a twin, but I was the one who got this. And I was the one who took on a responsibility, wasn't told to take care of them, to make sure they got to school safely and got home safely. The irony that I'm the person who's known for helping people feel seen is that for most of my life, I haven't felt seen. Going all the way back to that childhood, being one of so many children, there were moments when I could feel very alone in the middle of all that noise and chaos. Let me tell you about the kind of clients I work with. You see, my clients have a history of success. They care about others. They're happy to be alive. They learn, they grow, and they want to make a difference in the world. My clients are energetic and they are real. They love what they do. There's nothing more important than their job. They are tenacious. They have this sense of stick-to-itness. And they step into their fears again and again and again. But there's a dark side to any gift. And sometimes, just like me, you'll know that despite all the success you have out in the world, it's hard to feel your own worth deep down inside. Despite all the stories about being a great leader that others will tell about you, deep down inside, you can feel that you don't actually matter. You'll try to handle that by controlling situations. But all that creates is stress, and relationships can just disappear and be destroyed. People don't like being controlled, it turns out. When you put your job over anything else, your people can love it, but you can pay the price. And when you're willing to step into your fear and do things at any cost, you can sometimes trample over people and not bring them with you. If you're a leader, I've got your back. If you're highly successful and you're ready for the next level of success, I've got your back. I understand what drives you, and I understand what holds you back. And if you want someone on your team who's got your back, call me. We'll talk. Sometimes I'm a coach. Sometimes I'm an expert. But beneath all of that, I've got your back.
Wow. I love it.
You don't have to say much if you don't want to right now. My experience when I do this and it lands, there aren't many words on the other side and people can't say very much because it just hits. The truth just really lands. So if we're there, we're there.
We're there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank you for trusting me. That was really powerful. Thank you for sharing your story with me. I'm glad we got to articulate it. This is something that at some point you'll draw out. It will be perhaps anything from the text of your website to the stories you tell in the world, whether it's on a stage or in one-on-one conversations. It's so real. That's why you've got no words right now on your end, but your people will feel you. And it's not generic. It's specific enough that your people will go, oh my God, that's me. Or they'll go, oh, that's nice, but they'll walk away because you're not for them. And your job is not to be for everybody. Shermain, thank you. That's a powerful story you have.
Thank you.
For most of human history, it wasn't called coaching, it was called leadership. And it's what I love to do, to coach people, to lead people, and to mess with people's thinking. If you'd like more of this, or if you'd like to learn more about our community of extraordinary top performers, go to richlitvin.com/oneinsight.